So, what's in the box? Quite a large size, as you can see. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of damage there. Bit of a chip, by the looks of it, so we'll have to deal with that. So I ordered this about 3 weeks ago, and it's come from India, so that might be a clue as to what it is. So I'll now get the I'll just set the camera up on the tripod and I'll carefully try and open this without scratching anything. I can smell fresh paint, which I'm not sure that's a good sign or not. Right, I can lift this out of here. Nothing else in the box. Well, I think you can see what it is. Yeah, so there's a little pack of something there. So there we have, and it looks to me a little bit rough, and it looks like it's been put away wet. The paint on there is actually very good. We'll have a little run over it with the little scan over with the camera in a minute. So there's the little bit that got chipped there, which is sticking through the box. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get some touch-up paint for that. Now that side is okay, it's just this side. I don't know if these have knee pads or not. If they do, it'll be okay, because I'll just cover that up with a knee pad. Otherwise, that's not very good. I'll have a closer look at that in a minute. Underneath, all looks okay. There was a stamp, was stamping in the metalwork underneath there. Yeah, I've got another little bit of chip in there on that corner, which is not too good. Yeah, and we won't really know the sort of quality we got until we try and thread things in, because that's normally where they fall down, ones I've had before. Yeah, the paint actually there, it's just not very good. a little bit ripply there. That's all. You know, I did say when I opened the tank, that smells wet. That's, you could smell the paint. I wonder if it's actually been put away or boxed up, and it wasn't quite cured. Yeah, there are a few little ripples there. But in total, this cost, including import duty, which was £51, I think it was, the import duty, tax, whatever it was added on. So in total it's 230 quid, which you can't even get a scabby old rusty original one for, let alone including the badges. So pity about the paint not being perfect. If it was all like that, that would be fine. That's really good. The top, it's just there, and a little bit up the front there. Yeah, so that is aubergine and white, which is the correct colour. Yeah, right. Let's see what is in the little packet here. It's probably just a cap. I always thought this was supposed to come with taps, unless I read it wrong. Yeah, it's just the cap. Doesn't seem too bad. Does it fit? Yep. Right. Now the thing to see now is, does it actually fit on the bike? I have got a fitting kit somewhere, which I'll have to find up. See if it actually does fit okay. I need to check whether that should have come with taps as well. I thought it was meant to. I can't see anything in the box immediately. Yeah, I'll check that. I'll have to have another look at the listing. I thought that did include taps, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, the badges don't seem too bad. They actually look better than they did on the picture. I thought they were going to be really tinny, but I think they are actually cast. Yeah, so let's just have a closer look at this paintwork. Right, I think if I shine a light across here, you might be able to see it. Maybe. And that shows up on camera or not, I don't know, but there's a little bit of a ripple just there and down there, which is a shame. It's not really something you can send back, is it, when you're getting it from India? And there's another little, quite a big ripple up the front there, which I don't quite understand, because the rest of it is really good. There's no problems on the top there at all, either side. So I don't quite understand how they managed to do that, unless, like I say, that was put away, well, it was packed, and the paint was still quite soft. This other side, There's that chip at the back there, which, well, it's just sticking out of the package, and yeah, they probably should have put some, taped some foam over that. Yeah, so that side is okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a few little marks there. It just scratches, which will polish out. Yeah, I'm not sure if they have knee pads there or not. I shall have to have a look. If they do, that'll be okay. So I better cover up the other side. But the white has come out really good. Yeah, there's no issues this side. It's just the other side. Right. Well, there's not much we can do about that. Other than having it repainted, which I'm not going to do. Where's the other chip? On the front here, somewhere underneath. There was a, yeah, there. It's had another little bang, which you can barely see. That will need painting over though. Yeah, like I say, I mean, really, that shouldn't be like that, but it is. Right, okay, let's find up the fitting kit. So this is the other area which we normally have a problem, or sometimes have a problem with these Indian tanks, is the thread. I mean, those threads, assuming they're the correct threads, because they aren't always, are not that clean, so I'll have to run a tap down them, certainly. And these ones are, well, they're not, definitely not clean. They're in a bit of a bad state. I'm not sure how well this will come over the this little, not GoPro, a Casso camera. It's generally not very good at close-ups. Yeah, they will need cleaning out for sure. Yeah, and we'll soon find out if they're the right thread. I've got my little fitting kit here, so we'll open that up. I think there's studs in there. Yeah, some studs, so they should fit on one end of those studs, should fit in these. I don't know if they have the same thread each end, or that's a different thread, one end to the other end. One thread is certainly longer. I'm not sure whether it's a long or short thread going here. Oh, and there's that other little bit of damage there to the paint. Yeah, so one of these plugs they have just knocking around, and they're, because there's a little, well, it looks like rust to me anyway, a little bit of rust in them. Yeah, well, they have those just knocking around and for years until they get used, is anyone's guess. And the other thing is, will it hold fuel? Because yeah, the one on the B31, that was fine, apart from the threads. I did clean the threads, so they weren't very good. But the one on the A50 did have a little bit of a problem. Little pinhole in the top, which was venting fumes and sort of peeled the paint off a bit. And it was literally a pinprick. So yeah, how well they're tested, well, who knows. It's all a bit hit and miss, isn't it, when you buy these things from off eBay from India. So yeah, whether you get the apprentice job or the master's job, depends how lucky you are, I guess. Right, so I'll get this camera back on the tripod, and we'll see how these are. Right, so that's the stud. Short end, let's guess short end. Yeah, because the nut will be going on that end. That's a lock nut, so that's going to need as much thread as that could get, I would think. So we'll put try the short end. Yeah, not a great thread. A bit wobbly, but at least feels like it's the correct thread. I haven't cleaned this out either. I'm just going straight in. Right, yeah, so that one seems okay. I might just run a tap down. You can see there is a little bit of rust and that in there, so they will need a clean out really. That one going in. That one is not quite so good now, that's tight. I think there is a little bit of a burr at the top there, what I can see, so that will need a tap running down it. Right, so let's do that. That's 5/16 UNF thread in there. Right, I'll just give that a quick blow out with the airline and retry the studs. Clean those out. Let's just give that one a little try. And that was I mean, they are really bad. I think I'm going to have to put some thread lock in there. And that does tighten down, but yeah, not great. Right, so that's those cleaned out. Their taps, must be whatever they use, must be so worn. They probably knock thousands of these out, don't they? Yeah, without changing tools. They are really loose. If I've got a, not sure if I've actually got any taps. These are, well, they should be, water BSP on the back here. Which that is, so I will just run that down, do the same with those, clean them out. But not so, I don't think I've got any fuel taps I can actually try in there, so yeah, might just run the tap down and clean them out. Which you don't really need to see that because it's not very interesting, is it? So I'll do that, then we'll have a look at the fitting, all the rubbers and that here, see what goes where. I think that must be the back one. Yeah. Right. Okay, for this front fixing, There's a sort of a plain rubber bush that sits on there, and the stud from the tank can go through, and then there's a top hat bush and a steel or cupped washer which will come up from underneath, and then obviously a lock nut on there. So that's basically the order that goes on. Right, and for the rear one, so for the rear one there's this different bush which has sort of a rubber piece each side. Not sure which way that would go, that way or that way, depends how thick the tank is, I suppose. I would think that is probably tank side. Yes, we've got that one sits in there, and the tank will go on, and there'll be that rubber one. Again, one of those dished washers, and then a 5/16 bolt will go, he says, all the way through, and that will tighten that lot down. Right, well, let's give it a test fit, see how she goes. Looks like we're catching on something. Rear end has gone down. It feels a bit over to one side. Right, we are hooked up on something somewhere. Right, what we got? Coils, right. I need to move them back. Yeah, the coils are too far forward, so I just need to move them back a little bit by the looks of it. So they'll sit in the recess. Yeah, I've just fitted them too far forward. Right, let's do that. Right, so another go. Lost a rubber. That shouldn't be there, that should be under there. No, there's still not enough room. They need to go even further back. And the other thing is, throttle cable is interfering there. And well, once that's that way, I think that'll be okay. It's just that not a lot of room in the tunnel there for the throttle cables. Right, shift that back again. Right, as you can see, this side isn't fully down. There is not a lot of room to spare under there. I have just rerouted my main. You can just see that through there. This one, that thick wire at the back there, or cable, that's where all my main electrics run down. I have just routed that from the top of the frame to the bottom. It was going over the top of that there over the top there, and they've got it underneath there because this is sitting slightly over to the left. Needs pulling this way, and that was getting in the way. The throttle cables are in the way, and also those head bolts, head steady bolts, nuts rather. I think I need to change them for low profile ones. We'll take a bit off those ones because they are hitting the bottom of the tank, and that's not even seated down properly, as you can see there. That's sitting a bit high. Yeah, so I do need to do quite a bit of fiddling. These throttle cables are going to have to come completely the other way somewhere. They're not going to tuck under there at all. Yeah, just not a lot of room under there. This side is sitting okay height wise. I think I might even have to make a little riser bush for the back. Yeah, might have to have another fiddle around with this cable, see if I can drop that even lower, which will mean that'll be visible. It's the only thing there. There's just not a lot of room in that tunnel, so yeah, it's not a good fit really, unless the originals are like that. I mean, you'd like to assume that they actually make it to the original pattern or something similar, or an original tank. But yeah, that's not sitting that great. Too much in the way, so I'm going to have to move a load of stuff. Those coils I probably have brought them back. I mean, they could go forward again a little bit, but I'll leave them there for now. Yeah, so a bit more fiddling is required, but I think you can get the general kind of view of what it's going to look like. Seat down, the seat will be okay, that will sit fine, no problems there. Yeah, so a bit more fiddling to do. Right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very easily. Where that stud comes through, it's not in the centre of that hole, and it's not because it's over that way more, because the other one is the same. Yeah, so this stud here and the hole, there's more gap this side than there is this side, so the studs are, or these fixings are too close together. Great. So I'm not going to be able to use the top hat bushers because I'm not going to be able to get them actually inside the gap, in the gap there. And I've also had to just take out my main cable and drop that down because there's no space there. I'm going to have to try and run that along this bottom bar, the bottom part of the frame, rather than the top slopey bit that was going like that. So that's going to have to be moved down. Throttle cables are probably going to have to hang down the same underneath here somewhere. Yes, I'm going to have to move all them again. Yeah, not quite to spec, I would say. I have managed to get the rear fixing in, although again I think I will need to put a little riser on there. That's not quite going down, and as you can hear, that's banging, so I'm going to have to find some slightly higher bushes, push that up a bit either side. Yeah, fantastic. A bit further with this tank. Initially I was going to make a couple of spacers just to raise the front up, because it sounds like it's hitting something underneath, but actually it's not. It is this side of the tank here hitting the side of the frame, and although these are, well, they're about as central as I can get, because obviously, like I said before, they're not even central, or the spacing between them is not correct for the holes. Yeah, what it is, I get my finger down that side between tank and frame, and that side is touching, so that is actually off centre. And I don't know if that's the same on the originals, but if you forget, say that centre nut there, centre of that nut is there, and look where the line of the seam is, it's off to one side. I don't know if you can actually, although when you look at the sides of the tank, they do look as though they are equal, maybe slightly more that side. Yeah, so the tank is not even symmetrical. Which, quite how they manage that, I don't know. But I assume that is not like that on the original ones. Maybe get a better shot there. You can see that's the seam there. That's the centre, roughly, there. So what is that? ½ inch out? Yeah, so that's a bit crap, isn't it? But that's what we've got to work with. So even after, because I also thought my cable was in the way, so I actually moved that down out of the way, but really that's, well, I suppose it is a little bit in the way at the back here. What I might have to do is try and run it over the top again. I'm gonna have to undo all my wiring, which I redid, to take this underneath rather than over the top. But actually now I can probably get it over the top, run it right down the top of the frame if I can, because there's no gap this side, or run it down in the big gap, which is that side. Yeah, so I'm still going to have to do a little bit more jiggery pokery with that. But apart from that, that's about as far down as that will go, without fouling a lot of stuff underneath. It's like the throttle cables, I've kind of tucked them. They are going to kind of, those adjusters, which I don't really like, are going to be banging against the tank, so they're going to be chipping paint off like buggery. Yeah, so that's obviously out as well, although that does kind of seem to be sitting square, so I don't know if this tab is too far up, because here is the rubber bush which should go between frame and tank, and as you can see there's a good ½ inch gap there, and that really, well, if you try and pull that down, the front end comes up, so I'm there sort of sitting flat at the moment. So what I've done is make a little spacer, just turned it up on the lathe, so that will sit in the little bit there where the rubber would go, and this rubber can now sit, try to do this one-handed, isn't easy, in there, so at least I can get a fixing on it at the rear. And actually when you put the tank down, when you put the seat down, that does kind of work well in with that, height wise. It does look slightly better. I think that would have been too low before, so actually yeah, and that's kind of hidden, whereas if I put spacers there you'd obviously see them. So yeah, all I've got to do is a lot of fiddling around, Actually, you can probably see better from here the line of that seam doesn't seem to be too far out at this end, but the further that way you go, and there's the split in the yoke, top yoke there, and there's the seam there, so you can see that is out. But like I say, I don't know if the originals are like that. I very much doubt it. Yeah, so if anyone has got one, if they can just have a look and see if that seam on their tank, the original tank, does sit central or not. Might be interesting. Yeah, so yeah, Indian tanks, that really is hit and miss, isn't it? You know, really is. But I'll have to make the most of it. I did actually contact the guy about the paint. This is before I realised all the fit was so bad. Yeah, I did contact the guy about the paint, and he did say he would reimburse some money. But I was hoping he was going to say, I'll send you another tank, but no. No such luck. Yeah, so I mean, I could try and find wet and dry that out. Like I say, that one, most of that can be covered with an e-pad. Yeah, it's just that bit there. Could try and wet and dry it out, but I don't know, I might just make it worse, so that's probably just going to be left like that. Yeah, I do like the colour, and where the paint is good, it is very good. It's just unfortunately got those couple of patches which aren't right, and I do believe also this should be white and with black writing for the Triumph. Yeah, I think they should be like that, but yeah, whether I'll paint that or not, I don't know, but I'll be bothered. Yeah, so I've made that little bit up there. I can fix it down, although I will probably wait until I get taps, and I'm still also waiting for the choke or air slide cables to turn up, or the rest of them. Got some of it, but not all of it. So that might be it for this video. As to fit in the tank. Yeah, I'll let you know if we have any further issues, because obviously I've still got to get swap all the other bits round underneath and try and fit everything under there. But yeah, we shall see how it goes. I have now managed to get that tank to sit a lot better. Actually, that is more in the centre, although I can't actually show you because I'm waiting for the paint to dry. But what I've done is just paint to dry in here, I mean, I've just elongated these slots, or these holes each side, and I've just done this one slightly more than that one, so the whole tank sits a bit more centrally. And also the little riser block I made at the back, I've just had to turn that down a bit. I might have to do it a bit more, because I found when I shut the seat it was hitting the head of the bolt, so I hadn't tried it with the bolt in there. Yeah, so I might have to take another couple of mil off that, so that'll end up being somewhere around sort of 16-17 mil rise on it. I mean, I can actually get that right down, but it does then hit on, you can see a bit of the loose paint there where it's chipped the paint. It does then hit this nut here, even though I have reduced the height on that nut. That nut and that stud. So yeah, I might just need to take a couple more mil and I think we'll be there then. Yeah, so yeah, like I say, unfortunately I can't show you, but I suppose you'll see the finished product